Hello, vegan chefs out there. Chef Jess back in the kitchen. We're here on YouTube and we are continuing with our cafe series. And today we're going to be making a pie. So we're actually going to be making a caramel peanut chess pie. So what is a chess pie? Well, I didn't know what it was either, but it's actually a pie which comes from the southern part of the United States. And I actually came up with this recipe because I had this huge tub of peanut butter and I didn't know what to do with it. So I thought, what better way to do something with it than come up with a recipe for our cafe series here on YouTube. So our cafe series is all about veganizing lots of different cakes and bakes from around the world that you would see in cafes and coffee shops. Super simple recipes, and today I'm going to show you this one, which is a caramel peanut chess pie. So to start off with, we're going to be making a crust, and what's unique about this crust is we're taking a bit of a spin on a chocolate chip cookie, because this whole recipe is very much inspired by treats and cakes and things like that from the USA. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to bring you down. I'm going to be using our life so much easier. So to make our pie crust, I've got here, this is my 9-inch pie tin or pie plate, and I've prepared all my ingredients here. So you want to grab yourself, I like to do this all in a food processor, it just makes life so much easier. And you want to start off with some all-purpose flour, so that just goes straight into your mixer. And to that I've also got some confectioner's sugar, so that's like your powdered sugar. This is a peanut pie. I want to add some more peanut flavor in there. This is optional, but I'm going to put a little bit of peanuts in there too. We have some salt. And we have, this is our panache, so this is our egg replacer. You will find in a lot of tart shell recipes that will use an egg yolk to bind things together. However, we don't want a binding which is going to make our tart crust or our pie crust tough. So this is going to coagulate when it cooks, and it's not going to be tough, but it's texture. And that's our panache product, which we sell on the Vegan Gastronomy and free from that website. I will put a link in the description below for you guys after this video. Alright, so we're going to whack that in. I want to blend this until my peanuts are pretty fine. So let's get this on. Take a look. So they're starting to get a little bit finer, still a few more chunks, so I'm going to keep going. And I do like to blend this with the flour because I don't want all those oils to kind of come out and have peanut butter. Alright, that's great. I don't mind if there's a few small chunks in there because that's just going to add to a nice texture. So to that we're going to be adding our fat. So I'm actually using some vegetable shortening. You could just use all vegetable shortening, or you could use all like a vegan butter, totally up to you. But in my recipe I'm using some shortening, which is very common to like American style pie crusts. And I've also got some vegan butter or some margarine here, so I'm going to pop that in as well. Now I'm going to mix this up until it's like a breadcrumb consistency before I add my chocolate, which I have chopped up into small pieces, because as I mentioned, we're making this as kind of like a cookie dough crust. Alright, so it's on. Has changed and it kind of looks like sand or like a breadcrumb kind of consistency. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of scrape that around, make sure everything looks like that's all incorporated, and it's got that nice peanut smell as well, which I think is very nice. Just reconnecting, guys. Alright, so I'm going to go in with my chocolate, and this is just a dairy-free dark chocolate bar that I bought from the supermarket, and I just finely chopped it. And I'm just going to kind of like pulse that in because I want to make it a little bit finer. Alright, it's already looking like a chocolate chip cookie already. Okay, so now we're going to go in with, I have to bind everything together. In my glass here, I've got some nice ice cold water. And the reason we use, just put in a tablespoon at a time until this just comes together. Alright, so I only put like two tablespoons and that's already come together. So I'll pop this aside and we're going to roll this out, put it into our carton. We've got a few people watching live. Alright, I'm going to get this out. Probably could have even used even less water. I'm going to put a little bit more flour in it. Make sure I've got a nice well-floured bench. It's a beautiful colour. So I'm just going to work in a little more flour. So if you do find that your dough is slightly sticky, just pop a little more flour in it. Alright, that's looking nice. I'm just going to get my bench scraper.
So Jessica, can you tell them why again you're doing this series of Brown Cafes? Because you're trying to show them how to make lower cost and easy
Absolutely. So
using some of the products you develop.
yes. So this entire series is all about helping you guys out there. I know a lot of you either have your own cafe, restaurant, or food business and want to incorporate some more vegan options. And this series is all about showing you how to create really and super low cost.
So you're using a bunch of your products to reduce the cost, right?
Absolutely. So we are using a lot of our products here at Vegan Gastronomy, which are our egg replacers. And that's just going to really make your life easier. So you don't have to go ahead and use all of these conventional egg replacers that often don't work. If you've ever tried to veganize a recipe and it just doesn't work, it's probably because you haven't got the right egg replacer. So that's where the panis egg comes into play, and that's going to replace all.
Some of those functions.
So some of those functions include coagulation, which we're using here for our dough. You also have binding, you have foaming, you have leavening, you have coating, browning. So there's lots of different things going on.
And so this does all those functions.
Yep.
And it's lower cost than eggs.
Yes, it is.
So you're being sustaining to the world. You're doing a good job in rescuing some more animals out there. And you're lower cost. So there's really no reason why people can't offer this, right?
Exactly.
So that's been your theory all the time, right?
This dough onto our pie plate. So I like to kind of roll it onto my rolling pin. Oh, it's a little bit crumbly. I think because we need a little bit more flour in our dough. Let's give this a go. And when you're working with your pastry, you want to always make sure it's moving around. It's very hot here in Spain at the moment, quickly with our dough, because everything's melting. Alright, so we're going to get that straight into our pie plate. Just move that in. Just to work that dough all the way around. Oh, we're back on? There we go. Beautiful. All right, so once you've got it into your pie dish, you want to just kind of like even it all out. And then you can go actually with your rolling pin straight over and just trim those edges. And don't throw this away because you can use those to make like cookies or something. So I'm going to even out my dough, make it all nice and pretty, and then we're going to be blind baking our pie shell. But before we do that, I'm going to chill this in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes before we bake it, and all the information will be on the recipe for you guys, and then I'll catch you back here and I'll show you how to make the filling and bake this. So I'll see you soon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out our products, which is the pastry, which we use for this dough crust, and we'll also be using it for the filling as well. If you're interested in taking any of our online courses for vegan pastry, you can check out vegangastronomy.com, and I will see you for the next video. Bye.